Hello, Mr. Imani, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you very well. Thank you so much
Great.
for turning. Is that good morning or good night? I don't know what you got there.
It's good evening. We are already in the night. I thought the time difference. I thought the time difference it still gives me another 1 hour until Brother Eugene told me.
Okay, yeah. In West Africa, where I think you are,
No, I'm
is
in London right now, actually.
Oh, you are in London?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you are in Nigeria.
Yes, I came from Nigeria about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yes.
So how is London?
Well, it's okay.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. That means you are how many hours behind ahead of us? Possibly like 4 or 5.
We are 1 hour ahead of Nigeria. I mean, Nigeria is 1 hour ahead of us now, ahead of London.
Do you change time in Nigeria in London too?
In London, yes, they change time. But when I arrived, London time and Nigeria time was the same. But now, London dropped back by 1 hour.
Okay, yeah, here too. We do drop time sometimes.
I almost got confused. I thought I still had 1 hour until Brother Eugene told me that it's in 5 minutes time.
Okay, all right. I think everyone is already online.
Okay.
We can go ahead and start our panel discussion. Again, thank you so much for coming in today. As you can see already, it's recording. And today I'm not in the studio. I am on my car, which is not be enjoyable. But yeah, because I'm in my way to Africa, so I'm not. I already packed everything, so I'm not in the studio today. I'm gonna be using my phone. But again, thank you so much, Seth, for coming in today. We do appreciate, as I think Eugene told you, this is a New Africa Network events, which is a panel discussion where we focus on Africans in general or African or children of Africa. That's African on the continent and African diaspora. We focus on economic issues, we focus on political and leadership issues, religions and faith issues, infrastructure development and education, all of those together with intention of trying to unite Africa. That's the whole idea. That's the whole purpose. We were divided people who do not like us, which is a better conference, which is unite ourselves. Today we're gonna be discussing more about Sars and politics as well. So I think they already told you we have 5 organizers of this New Africa Network, which is Dada or Queen Mundit, Jerome, Ras Arura, Brother Eugene, and I. We are the one who actually started this New Africa Network together. And I will take this moment to actually give you the mic so you can introduce yourself to us so we know who we are talking to. And also this event will be posted on New Africa Network TV YouTube channel as well.
Okay. Thank you very much, Brother Imani. Good evening, all friends of Africa and Africans in diaspora. My name is Bayo Idowu. Some of my friends, I'm described as an elder and a community leader in my community. I am a retired diplomat. I served the government of Nigeria for 35 years, after which I retired. And I'm now into business, consulting, due diligence, and advocacy. I'm also in the Nigerian American Chamber of Commerce. I'm in charge of government and international liaison in the chamber. So all this falls under my schedule to link the chamber with all the international bodies for business. That being the case, thank you for having me this evening, and I'm delighted to be here.
You are welcome, sir. We do appreciate to have you tonight. Now let's go ahead and start on it. You say you are retired from Nigerian diplomacy,
Yes.
which is very much working on the embassy and so on.
Yes.
How did Nigeria? What is the SARS for people who do not know? Because I hope everyone knows about Nigeria. But
Okay.
let's start by Nigeria. For someone who do not know Nigeria, where is Nigeria, and what is the unique thing compared to other 54 countries we have in Africa? What is unique about Nigeria?
Oh yeah. Well, Nigeria is a country in Africa which is strategically located at the gateway between West Africa and Central Africa. The country is so well located that it's equidistant from almost every part of Africa. The distance between Cairo and Abuja is more or less the same distance between Abuja and Johannesburg. If you know the countries I'm mentioning, those were regarded as the powerhouses of African economies. Now, Nigeria is uniquely located. Apart from that, it is the most populous country in Africa. Its citizens are widely traveled and generally very intelligent people. You will see, if you go to the United States, if you go to UK, most of their doctors are from Nigeria. And unfortunately, in Nigeria itself, you don't have enough doctors to go around. That shows you a lot about the internal situation in Nigeria, which is not favorable to professionals due to government inconsistency and policy inconsistency and a general lack of care from the successive governments. And that leads us to the current event. You asked about SARS. SARS actually means Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the police. Now, this Special Anti-Robbery Squad has now, we have police brutality all over the world. But the Nigerian SARS, Nigerians observed that it's extremely brutal. There are incidents of extrajudicial killings. The impunity is the order of the day, and extortion and general corruption. So much so that the modus operandi of this special unit of the police, it was set up to combat armed robbery, but they have grown in impunity so much that, and to worsen it, they target the youths. What you need to, the only thing they need to see is maybe they see a dreadlock on you, or you have an iPhone or an Android phone, or you have a tattoo on your body. That makes you an automatic suspect, even when no crime has been committed. And people had been arrested like that, and moved from one location to the other. Some of them, some youths losing their life in the process. So it got to a head. The youth got together and decided to mobilize and put an end to the operations of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, which is called End SARS. So the campaign is #EndSARS. This campaign actually is not new. and the government has, on 2 previous occasions, dissolved Sars. But because of the gains that the officers of the Sars are making, they refuse to disband. And this created a problem for the government. When government says this time we have dissolved SARS, they said, no, you have dissolved SARS on 2 previous occasions and it still exists to today, until we see concrete steps taken to ensure that this body does not exist anymore. We are not going to leave the streets. Now that developed into, after some time, the protests, which were peaceful, which are well organized and well funded by Nigerian youths using social media and getting some support from Nigerians in diaspora. So the government get fed up with the peaceful protests that we have acceded to the requests. There was an initial 5-point demand. We have acceded to your request, the 5-point demands. So the government felt it was time to end the protests, but the youths were adamant. They were adding some other things into the fray. So that being the case, I think some elements of the government had an idea of dispersing the protests by imposing curfew and inviting the military authorities to intervene so that further, economic activities can continue. So that is so much about SARS. And I need to tell you something about the SARS. The youths, they organize themselves in such a manner, articulated their points without any structure of leadership. And now when some of them were asked, who are the leaders? They told them that if we have leaders, government can easily round up the leaders and get them into a corner. And that will be the end of the protests. But see, any mass movement without effective leadership will suffer the fate of what befell the peaceful protest of the youth. On the part of the police, although the protest was against the police has a duty to maintain law and order, even during the protests. So it appears the police failed in its duty to protect the youths, allowing the hoodlums to get in and disrupt the protest. So much so for that is what happened in the SARS protests in Nigeria.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
You go ahead.
On the part of the police,
yes,
almost every Nigerian agree with the protest of the youth because they have experienced police brutality in one form or the other. Police brutality in terms of poor training of the police, poor remuneration of the police, and lack of due process. You know, lack of haphazard career progression. There are stories that when a policeman is posted from Lagos to Abuja, he will have to fend for his transport fare, and the uniform he wears, he buys it himself rather than being supplied from the government. So all these contributed to the situation of the police that made it so inefficient and unable to respond to to its duty under the Constitution of Nigeria.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for the background. You say that the SARS has been there for a long time. Can you tell us can you tell us exactly if ISA was they were created by when President Buhari became president, or they were there before him?
No, the SARS was created during the regime of General Babangida as head of state, with Fulani Kwajafa was the Inspector General of Police at the time. And that was the time that armed robbery was rearing its head. So a special unit was created to combat armed robbery. And that was about over the years, and you know, Babangida left power in 1992. Oh no, 1990 or thereabout. So the SARS had been a unit of the Nigerian police since the late 80s, 85, 86, thereabout. So it was not a creation of the Buhari administration.
Okay, very good. Yeah, thank you so much. And now people can see how this connects with economy, because you mentioned that the police are not being taken care of to extent they have to buy their own clothes, they have to buy their own, they have to get their own ticket. I think it was in Congo when I remember back in days, the Congolese military, if they want to eat, they will go every house to house and grabbing goats and cows and rice, and then go and feed tell people, citizens, to carry the food and take to the military camps. So at the same time, it seems like that's what is going on with your policies, the SARS. They are not being taken care of, so which leads them to not only to corruption but also to have bad name, which we understand this issue of economy actually, especially when it comes to Nigeria. Nigeria produces a lot of oil. They should be able to take care of the police and the military and those SARS as well, because. Honestly, if they were created back in 90s, it seemed like they have been doing the job without getting treated very well. So yeah, I do understand that. Now, back to the SARS, you said that the young people in Nigeria are protesting, and they are not, they don't have like a president or the leader, CEO, and so on. Can you elaborate a little bit more about how they give fundings or the money?
Well, the youth utilize the social media to connect, to network, and to raise funds and to plan what they want to do. They got support from elements of Nigerian diaspora outside the country, not in any particular country, but all over. You know, so this protests has shown the power which technology can be deployed, the power of the youth with technology. And this has shown also to the government the potential danger, because let us be frank with ourselves, successive governments have become very insensitive to the needs of Nigerians. The governing elite have not really shown care. And the youths, they have realized a deficit in the capacity and competence and character of the police, I mean of the government. Well, not this particular government, but successive governments up till this one. So those were the shortcomings, and the youth could see that it is gross incompetence. There are resources and there is technology that can be deployed to solve all these problems, but the government is just not efficient. And some of the things that the youth added to their demands was the outrageous and unsustainable remuneration of political office holders. Nigerian legislators are among the most highly paid in the world. They earn better than American senators. I think on the average annual remuneration is in excess of $2 million. So these are some of the things that people, the youth, the protest of the youth was very popular, no doubt. And it was if efficiently carried out, that it sort of halted the Nigerian economy in the 12 to 15 days that it took place. And that forced the government to use, well, they say minimum force now, but some people lost their lives in the process to disperse the protests. Another thing about the SARS is there seemed to be a dichotomy in the operations of SARS. Whereas in the southern part of Nigeria, SARS was very ruthless. So when the youth in the southern part of Nigeria are protesting and say they don't want SARS, some parts in the northern parts of Nigeria did not see, they were saying that SARS is working for them. In fact, a state governor said, well, they don't mind SARS being in the northern part of Nigeria. And this is one thing about Nigerian politics because of that seeming dichotomy. In 1993, when the government annulled June 12 presidential elections, which was adjudged to be the freest election in Nigerian history, the demonstrations were taking place in Lagos, and most people were saying it's only in Lagos. The same thing when Boko Haram made incursion into the northeast of Nigeria. Some Nigerians say it's only in one corner of Nigeria in the northeast. The time has come for us to realize in Nigeria that injury to one is injury to all. And that when there's a problem in any part of the country, it is a problem for all to solve.
Thank you so much. I think you wrap up a lot of things in here. When you say about the conflict between the states, I can say maybe, or regions in Nigeria, which is common not only in Nigeria but also in Ethiopia as well, and some other countries that are federal how do you call that, federal states. So
federal system.
Yes, it is common, and you can see that it creates a lot of conflicts, and also it works towards the tribes as well. That's what is the danger of federal system in any given country. When you have federal system or regions system, it does, because the regions, most of the time there is tribes living in those regions, and it become like creating country inside a country. It's just not, it haven't been working very well. And you also mentioned about the judicial, no, the senators of Nigeria to be paid most of money. Last few weeks, I think we had a gentleman from Kenya who said that the Kenyan parliament get paid most of, like they are the top one. And you say that is why do we have our parliament being paid so much money in Africa? Why is that? Why is Nigeria? Why is Kenyans parliament are getting paid more money while our countries and our citizens are suffering? Do you know why?
Well, broadly, it is due to corruption. And corruption in the sense that the legislators are the one appropriating for themselves. Now, the character of politics generally in Africa, which Nigeria is not an exception, is that a lot of people depend on the political leaders. A friend of mine was elected into the Senate, and we now asked him, why is it that you people have given yourselves so much money in terms of remunerations? He responded that when you are elected into such a place, there is a steady stream of people in your house and your office. If anybody wants to, somebody will come and tell you, I don't have school fees for my child, you have to assist. I've just given back to a child, I want to do naming ceremony, you have to give money. So, so you find it difficult to really know where the problem is if it is not general corruption. The legislators feel and if the legislators do not respond to the people who come to their houses, they will not be returned in the next election. And also, there is also what you call godfatherism in Nigerian politics, where the people who are actually elected in power got there because of sponsorship from a godfather who will be expecting some returns. All this, you know, is a corruption, because it does not happen like that in other climes. So I attribute that largely to corruption and greed.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely true. We are suffering with, not only in Nigeria, by the way, it's all over Africa. We have
Yes.
this kind of a tribe, who knows who, and like, it's just a corrupted system. And you cannot fix Nigeria unless you are going to fix with the Benin. You're gonna fix with Ghana, and next you're gonna fix every country in the whole Africa. It's just like you start by one and it goes all over Africa, because we have the same syndrome, I would say. Now back to I think the SARS.
Yes.
Let me ask the last question about the SARS. Maybe then we can leave this alone. Do you think they're gonna end SARS, or if they end them, they're gonna replace them with another special force, or they just gonna leave regular police? What do you think?
Well, immediately the peaceful protests broke out, and the youth submitted to the government through the governor of Lagos State that they want SARS abolished. The government accepted the request of the youth, and the Inspector General of Police in a nationwide broadcast said SARS has been dissolved, and in its place, a special weapons and tactical unit called SWAT will take over. So this also led to further agitation that it is not a question of nomenclature. You call it, whether you call it SARS or you call it SWAT. It is the same police, brutal police, poorly remunerated police, that will still be deployed to this particular unit that you have newly created. Therefore, SARS is like a mission statement. The youths are demanding an end or a drastic reduction in corruption and an increase in government sensitivity to the plight of the people of Nigeria. So it is not just a change of nomenclature from SARS to SWAT. People want fundamental changes. They want the relationship between the governed and the governing elite and the governed to change dramatically, so that there will be more accountability and there will be more progress in the town, I mean, in the country. Because the youth have seen that providing water and electricity is not rocket science. It's just a lack of capacity, a lack of competence, and bad character of governance. People are just demanding good governance.
Thank you. Yeah, I remember one thing. I was browsing around and I found out that the SARS were trained by actual British police. Is that true?
No. Well, the Nigerian police generally was was trained by British police. But you will agree with me that even though you have a high-handedness in the British police, is nothing compared to what we have in Nigeria.
Okay. Yeah, so let's leave the SARS alone. Now, Nigeria, it has a lot of population. Nigeria also produce most of gas. Nigeria has other natural resources. As you mentioned, something which I already know, that Nigerians are educated people. They are
Yes.
very, very educated, but possibly more than all Africans. If you wanna really find out, this is the truth. It's not like people will go and create their own diplomas. No, Nigerians, they are really educated. There is no debate around that, and there is strong people in Nigeria. So why the economy of Nigeria is not increasing? Why it's not growing? What do you think is the problem?
In my opinion, the problem is all of us in Nigeria, and is due largely to corruption and a disconnect between the political process in which we have the governing elite, the politicians on one hand, and the governed on the other hand. You see, in political theory, between the governed and the governors, there is a social contract. That social contract is not being implemented in a favorable way. That is why Nigeria, that has such resources in huge proportions. Forget about oil. Nigeria has other things. There are countries without oil. What the countries without oil have, Nigeria also have them. But effective administration of man and material is what is lacking in Nigeria.
So how can we change this? Because what is like Nigeria, as you say, is like the backbone of whole Africa.
Yes.
How this generation, what do you think we can do from your experience in it as a diplomat and living abroad and living in Nigeria and doing business, and what do you think as this generation, what is something that we can bring to Nigeria that is, or we have our Nigerian generation, these young people can do to actually change or switch things around?
Well, in my opinion, the young people of Nigeria have sent a very clear signal to the governing elite. They have shown them, if I can put a football balance, they have shown the governing elite a yellow card, which means the government and the political class need to sit up. Otherwise, it's not going to be business as usual. What needs to be done is for government to rededicate itself to the governed, and also for everybody to, there's need for an attitudinal change in the way we do things. If I may, because I'm a Christian, I will use a biblical quotation. The Bible says, righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to people. If you continue to do things in a crooked way, it's not going to get us anywhere. The political process in Nigeria is corrupted. That is why the governing elite does not care for the welfare of the masses. Therefore, a clear lesson from the end Sars protests is that things got to change. If these things change, I think we are going to have a better Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Last time, I think it was 2 years ago, here in Washington, D.C., we had people were protesting, I believe. Some people want to divide Nigeria. I don't remember exactly which groups were. I can't remember. I think there was something they're calling. I work next to the White House, so I get to see all those people who are protesting. So there were some people say something like Biafra, and some people were saying like English speaker, Cameroonians, and it was something like that nature. So do you see any risk of Nigeria to be divided in another two countries?
Well, that is a valid question in view of recent happenings. There is no doubt there are separatist agitations. We have them in the east, we have them in the southwest, and these agitations are occurring because, as a matter of fact, the rule of law is not efficiently carried out in the country. See, if you have the rule of law, then there will be fair play. And when there is fair play, people will not feel deprived. People will not feel marginalized. Those places where there are separatist agitations is because there are perceived injustice. When there is perceived injustice, it is difficult to have peace. And that is what is happening in our country. The people who are agitating for self-determination, the people who are agitating for, who are separatist agitations, is because they feel marginalized and they feel that the system is not fair to them. But in actual fact, if you look at the system on the whole, it's not fair to anybody. That's why we've got to change our orientation and do things the right way.
Will you say that there is any hand come from outside in Nigerian situation, or it's just Nigerian and the system and everything is just from inside?
If you are talking about a foreign power, I do not believe a foreign power has a hand in what is happening in Nigeria. It is, I told you earlier on that it is the frustration of the youth at the governments. When I say governments, I don't mean only this government, successive governments. Their lack of capacity, their lack of competence and character to deliver the goods. In Nigeria, we call it dividends of democracy.
Okay, so pretty much we are the one who are thinking on ourselves. There is no power come from outside of Nigeria at all. Is our problem. We're gonna have to swim in that. Okay, that's what you are saying. Thank you so much for that. Now, is anyone on Zoom who may have a question for Honorable Mr. Ibu? Is that
Idowu?
Idowu? What? By the way, what does the Idowu mean?
Idowu means it is a child that is born after the twins. After a set of twins is Idowu.
Oh, Idowu.
Yes.
And what language is that?
You said?
What language is that? What language?
Idowu is Yoruba language, but in Hausa language, you have Gambo. Gambo is also a child that come after a set of twins.
Gambo, Idowu. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I don't know anyone on group who may have a question for our special guest. Please, microphone is to you. If not, I'm gonna continue with questions because I have.
Yeah. Thank you. Go ahead. Yeah, brother Idowu. Thank you, man, for coming on and being a part of the New African Network broadcast today. And for sure, you know, we understand a little bit about what's happening with the Sars situation in Nigeria. And please, peace and blessings go out to all the families who have been affected by what took place a couple of weeks ago there in Nigeria. But, you know, I was listening to you, Brother Idowu, and talking about the disconnection from what the youth are in need of And it seems like what's happening with the new generation at hand kind of see what's going on outside of Nigeria and long for the same type of treatment that they would get if they went to a country like the United States or the UK, which is not at all perfect. But it seems like sometimes in places like that, the judicial system has the citizen themselves have a broader reach to getting justice when needed. But my question for you, are there any type of reforms since the incident had taken place? You know, sometimes you don't have to dismantle an agency because of a few people who may not have been psychologically evaluated, or perhaps having some repercussion measures in place to they can be sort of identified. So are there any type of reforms that are taking place overall with the total judicial system with its connection to the policing system in Nigeria? Thank you, brother.
Yes, actually, when we were growing up, I think the police was generally more efficient than what we have today, because at those times we hardly hear of armed robbery, and the criminal activity was at its lowest level. But I think the whole thing skyrocketed with the oil economy, where people some people get easy money as a result of easy oil money, easy oil contract, and there were acquisitions and purchases, and you know, because the production is not matched by work, there is a deficit. The tendency is for people to now want to do petty thefts, and the situation got out of hand because it was probably not effectively nipped in the bud when it reared its ugly head. So it is one of the positives that we are taking away from this protest by the Nigerian youth. That government is now being forced to look inward and to discipline erring officers. It's one of the demands that all those who engage in extrajudicial killings should be brought to book. They should be tried and punished appropriately. And government has acceded to their requests. You will see, if you follow Nigerian news very well, you see that panels of inquiry have been set up in many parts of the country to investigate and to apportion punishment for all those who are responsible for the carnage that happened in Nigeria.
Well, at least we can see that the approach is from a grassroots level, where the government itself is reaching out to its citizens. And let's just set the record straight. You know, a lot of times we go to vote for these politicians, but the politician is only one person. The actual government itself is the people who support those who vote and make themselves a part of the community itself, as well as patriot to the nation. You know, we see that there's a lot more can be gained in the long run. But this has seemed to be a systemic problem that exists in many governments across the world, with how do you go about policing your citizens? Because as we all know, things are not all rosy at the end of the spectrum either, because there are a lot of bad people who sort of take advantage of a weakness in a system and therefore have to be punished. I don't care what color the person is, blue, black, red, and green, you know, but it seems like the sensitivity comes when, like you say, when you had a peaceful protest, and then you have a government agency in a mode to where it seems like it's waging war on its people, its citizens. Those are the very well people who actually fund the agencies that we sort of pay out of pocket to serve our needs of protection. So when you have a few people, bad apples, that go rogue and sometimes have their own agenda wearing the badge not honorably, but more of a self need, like you say, trying to breed out corruption is it's a systematic thing that takes place in many countries all over the world. So with the youth, we definitely give them a big shout out. We give them a big up because it takes guts to stand up and voice your opinion about some of the things that have pretty much have gone unwanted, where you don't have the transparency between certain agencies and the people. But yeah, we definitely want to give a big shout out to our brothers and sisters who are on the ground, and those who are in high places and those who are in low places, who want to make things right. Okay, so yeah, Brother Money, are you ready to move on to the next topic with Brother Idowu, so we can get off the SARS thing and get on to some business and economics?
Yes, I do. Back to now. Let's talk about, as I told you, I said in the beginning, we are Africanists, which means that we believe that the only way Africa is going to be able to move or to be able to accomplish is if we unite. You may, or someone may say yes, or someone may say no, but the evidence is clear from the past, since when we became independent in the 60s until today. We don't have one single country in Africa that is called developed. Sometimes it will come one up and then it goes down, that country will go down, and so on. So I think that the only solution we may need is to unite. What is the plan? What would you suggest for Nigerians in order to take the first seat in uniting Africa? What do you think Nigeria, as the most populated country in Africa, the most possibly educated country in Africa, the most strong people in Africa as well? With the historic, they call themselves Nigerians giants, you know. So what do you think they need to do in order to bring this unity? We've been singing, we've been working on of Africa years and years. So what do you think Nigerian young people we should have to do now?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it's one of the positives we take from the youth protest, that it appears it's not going to be business as usual anymore, because everybody realizes what can happen when there is a breakdown of law and order. And the youth are sufficiently aware. They have the organizational ability. They have the support of the diaspora, and they can deploy technology to achieve their objectives. These are crucial indices which are in the hand of the youth, and which is going to be deployed to bring the governing elite, the politicians, to bring them to sense. So definitely, we need a reorientation in Nigeria, which has started as a result of the youth protests. And the same thing ought to go all over Africa. But there are rays of hope. The country Rwanda is a case in point. I have not been to Rwanda, but I've heard stories about Rwanda and that things are really working fine there. So all hope is not lost. By the time we see small countries like Rwanda making the right waves and making progress, definitely other countries will tune in. There are also good examples in Ethiopia, in Ghana. So generally in Africa, and as you can see what is happening in Nigeria. So generally there is hope for progress in the political development of Africa. But this has to be economy has to be the basis for bringing these things to fruition. Economy is the fundamental basis of politics. So when we get the economy right, and recently most African countries have signed the African Free Trade Treaty. These are signs that Africa is moving in the right direction.
And Brother Idowu, tell
Yes.
us a little bit about the relationship that Nigeria has with the ECOWAS agreement. I know there's a lot of development that is taking place pretty much all up and down the west coast of Africa, ranging from Morocco all the way down to South Africa. But specifically we know that Nigeria is a part of the ECOWAS organization. And how's that coming along for Nigeria? Is that treating the agreement where they are looking to lower the barriers of trade between the ECOWAS nations? And I also know that you have some Francophone countries that are engaged with that and had some question marks into whether or not how Nigeria wanted to fit into being a part of that that organization at one time. Nigeria thought it may be carrying the blunt force of holding up the economic side of ECOWAS. So how's that coming along?
Thank you for the question. It's Nigeria has a crucial role to play in ECOWAS, but then it has to put its house in order. By your question, I believe you are referring to the frequent closure of the Nigerian border. Closure of the Nigerian border is to goods that are not sourced in West Africa. Countries like Thailand, people will bring loads of rice from Thailand and bring it through our neighboring countries. That is hurting the economy of Nigeria. It's destroying the local production. No responsible government will allow such a situation to continue ad infinitum. That is why sometimes you see the government closing the borders to suppress the smuggling activities, to encourage local production of goods like rice. Nigeria is almost self-sufficient in rice production since the closure of the borders. Definitely, it will cause friction within the ECOWAS protocol, but with good understanding that the country should be able to navigate such sensitive issues.
Yeah, that seemed to be one of the documentaries that was on one of the major television networks. They did a segment on the rice being imported from outside the country. And we know that Nigeria is not only a big oil producing country, but Nigeria is also known for its agriculture.
Yes.
Has a wide range of commodities that are traded on the international market. And tell us a little bit about the Nigerian stock market. How is that faring out this year with the COVID situation? And how's that being challenged to have its goods and sold on the actual world market through the exchange?
Yes, everybody knows the impact of coronavirus pandemic on the world economy, beginning from late 2019, November, December 2019, and the drastic steps that governments needed to take to curtail the spread of the virus. That affected Nigerian economy and also its stock exchange. But the stock market is picking up now in Nigeria, and things are gradually coming to normal. There is no doubt it will take some time for the economy to bounce back, to achieve recovery and sustainable growth, but that will be done with time. And government is putting some measures in place to aid this process.
That's great. That's great. And I know you are a consultant, and you yourself have a business that sort of invests in the agriculture sectors as an alternative investment platform. Tell us a little bit about your company and what you provide as a service to the business and investment community.
Okay, thank you very much. My company is a small one for the time being. It's employing less than 10 persons. But see, having taken part in trade negotiations, in investment conferences all over the world, which culminated in my last deployment in Washington, D.C., yeah, we held an investment conference in 2018, April 2018. And we discovered in that conference there is need to attract capital to Africa. And apart from that, there is need to take full potential, to make full use of the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act that was put in place by the Congress of the United States. Therefore, the large contacts that was made in such places provide me a unique position to be able to assist small businessmen in Nigeria to have access to capital. So we consult in the area of agribusiness, and we can advise on capital sources, sources of funds for projects, project financing too. Those are the things we do. And of course, we have our own experimental farm where we grow crops, and we see how we can add value to it before sending it to the external environment. That is what we are doing for the time being. So we consult for companies, we do due diligence. If you want to do business in the Nigerian economy, if you give us the name of your partner, we can do due diligence and advise you the areas where you need to be careful as you go into the project. And we'll be sincere with you if we think that your partner is not a viable partner. We will let you know, so that it will minimize your losses. But the problem is many foreigners, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says, once greedy, always a victim. They have seen Nigeria as a place of slush funds, where the people are carrying money all over the place. So they easily fall victim of advance fee fraud and this ubiquitous email fraud all over the place. I think government has done enough for anybody who has ears to hear what needs to be done. But we can also help you, we can also guide you so that you don't fall into the hands of advance fee fraudsters. That is very important for businessmen coming into Nigeria. That is the due diligence aspect of our work. And we take pride in that.
Well, we're certainly hoping to have our viewers and listeners to become a part of what's taking place there in Nigeria. And as we are the New Africa Network, want to foster bridging the gap between brothers and sisters who are educated in the diaspora, who have the skill and expertise to help further along the economic transformation of what's taking place there in Nigeria. Of course, we've watched Abuja transform itself into a very beautiful capital within the last 20 years. And that is a prime example.
Actually, you can post it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a prime example of the what we call the jumpstart of the African Industrial Revolution. So yeah, definitely big props go out to Nigeria for being a major player in the game. You know, when you speak of investment, we see that neighboring countries that are part of the ECOWAS region, and specifically to Ghana, at certain times of the year, Ghana has to import berries from overseas, strawberries. Oh, hold 1 second, please. Whoever is out there, can you please put your mic on mute while we are having conversation? Thank you.
So I did.
Okay. Yeah, so getting back to it, you know, we know that certain times of the year, your neighboring countries, take for instance, Ghana, has to import berries, strawberries and blackberries and blueberries and things like that in abundance. And, you know, we see that there are neighboring countries that, like Nigeria and you have Cameroon, have been the breadbasket of West Africa, the breadbasket of Africa. These places should very well be trading with our brothers and sisters right next door instead of importing them from Europe. It looks like it would be more vital and strategic of doing business with the neighboring country next door who is growing those type of products. So is there any means of where the government now in Nigeria is beginning to reach out to or sort of like putting some of its own trade agreements in place with its neighbors?
Can he hear you?
Okay. Yes. Thank you for the question. Now, with respect to inter-African trade, that is an area that will be addressed by the Continental Free Trade Area. It is now left for Africans to negotiate among themselves and come to agreement on countries with comparative advantage in certain products. And there are challenges, though. The challenges must be overcome quickly. Challenges like tariff barriers, challenges like communication. If you can imagine, if you want to take a product from Nigeria to Ghana through the road, the customs checkpoints on the road, if you are carrying perishable, you are likely not to make a success of it because you waste so much time on the road. So those are areas that African governments have to rise up to limit the barriers to trade. If they limit the barriers to trade, then we can increase inter-African trade. Because frankly speaking, if we don't trade with ourselves, we are going to die because we cannot compare or we cannot compete effectively with with China, for instance, which is producing in a massive way and pushing out its exports. We cannot produce if we cannot compete effectively with the United States and all the world powers in terms of production. So African countries must come together, remove the barriers to trade between them, negotiate areas of comparative advantage, and generally produce what they consume. That is the way we can come out of the economic deprivation of Africa. Africa has a very small percentage of world trade. So the earlier, the more it trades with itself, the better. And that is one of the advantages we can reap from the Continental Free Trade area, which was recently signed.
For sure, my brother. And we see that this is some of the talk and discussion that had former ambassador of the African Union, Sister Ericana Chirumbera-Kwa. She has constantly preached the message that we can no longer afford to do business outside of the continent and must look inward. And as Africa itself begin to take on the challenges of industrializing, this is a very strategic move that could help catapult Africa into the future. And we look forward, the brothers and sisters here in the diaspora look forward to working with our brothers and sisters on the continent to help bridge that gap. And if they're by any means of relaying this information to the youth of Nigeria to let them know that the New Africa Network is here and want to be engaged in on some of the things that are happening on the ground, as well as to help foster change in many systems that have been put in place, still using 1800, early 1900 doctrine that was put in place. Exactly, legislation had been put in place. So we are the new breed leader generation. Therefore, we are here to make change. And therefore, we are here to see that African people's future looks its best as we are challenged with many of the things that that the future holds. So anyone out there want to ask Brother Idowu any information about what we've discussed so far in the dialogue?
This is Lovemo from Zimbabwe, but I'm here in Texas.
Okay.
I wanted to, I don't know how I can tailor this question, but I know we've spoken about corruption. We've spoken about, working together across the other countries. Because I'm somebody coming from technology, I wanted to know, what is Nigeria or any of the African countries doing to catch up with technology? I say so because my generation is very, well versed in technology. So, like for instance, with the whole Sars thing going on in Nigeria, the use of social media to create movements. So we are using it to a certain extent. But as somebody that's in technology, in the United States, I see a gap whereby I think technology, digitalization could reduce the gap that Africa has with the rest of the world. So what initiatives are there in Africa to speed the adoption of modern technology?
Thank you very much. There's no doubt the role of technology in modern development. Secondly, another thing that is very important is the role of the diaspora. But in my nearly 5 years of dealing with the diaspora, I can see that we have not achieved a level of unity that is needed. Africans are not talking together. The other time, before a few hours ago, I was in another diaspora forum. And I am of the opinion that we need to link up these forums to make up a viable, so that we can exploit technology. The diaspora have capital in terms of money and technology. Definitely, we need all these things in Africa. with the new movement that is taking place in Africa, where countries are now demanding greater accountability, because the African population is youthful. And I believe what happened in Nigeria is going to go around Africa very soon, where youth in many countries will demand accountability. We need to get ourselves prepared for that time. I mean, when I say we, Nigerians in the diaspora, we need to get ourselves prepared. We need to get ourselves mobilized for the time when Africa will be ripe to take in the capital and the technology that is available to our diaspora elements from the West or from the East, so that you can make the best use in Africa. There is no doubt that many Africans are good and are making waves in technology. I remember the other time, all the Mark Zuckerberg used to come to Nigeria frequently to come and see what is going on, and they pluck the bright stars and they take them to the United States. We must be able to develop all these technologies within ourselves and utilize it. We shouldn't allow the West to be buying them off from us. When they buy it from us, they give us a pittance, and then they bring back the technology the same way they dealt with us in colonialism. That's what they are doing again in technology. We should not allow that. And this can only happen if we come together. You see, I subscribe to an organization that is called Do It Right Africa. That is, every country has its own chapter. But what we are saying is, let there be accountability. Let there be a change of attitude. Let us be able to strengthen Africa and prepare Africa to benefit from the technological innovatives that are available right now. Luckily, we have our youth, and our youth are inquisitive. They are quick to grab elements of this technology. So by utilizing our youthful population, we can advance quickly and bridge the gap between Africa and the world, both technologically and in terms of trade. That is the way I see it. So technology has a huge role to play. The diaspora has a huge role to play, and we must prepare Africa to be ready to receive the input of the diaspora, so that we can make a better use of the opportunity we have at the end of the day.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Appreciate. You've been mentioning one thing, and this is going to lead us to the next question about the African Continental Free Trade.
Yes.
For those who do not know, what is that?
Well, the Continental Free Trade Area is a treaty that seeks to make Africa, to unite Africa in terms of trade. You will agree with me that a country like Gambia cannot compete with China. Even Nigeria cannot compete with China. But when we come together, negotiating, just imagine that we say all the cobalt that is being removed from Africa, all African countries are united and say, okay, halt it, this is what we are going to do. They don't have it in any other part of the world. It's only in Africa. But they now, that's why some of the countries in Africa are not at peace. The way the multinationals come to Africa with arms and ammunition, scatter the people and start picking the minerals. So Africa should be in a position to say, no, enough of that. We are going to benefit maximally from our resources. That is what Africa Continental Free Trade Treaty is for, is to make Africa one trading bloc so that it will be able to effectively negotiate with other parts of the world.
Very good. Thank you so much. It's very much like uniting Africa in terms of business.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're going to have different presidents, but when it comes to business, we're going to have one voice.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Now, I don't know if you ever hear about us. We push the idea of one African common language, one African official language, one of African trade language, one African like some kind of one common language that we can all use, especially when you are talking about African continental free trade.
Yeah.
You know, if Libya comes in with Arabic and Egypt and Nigeria comes with the Pidgin maybe, or Yoruba or Hausa, I don't know which one is gonna be, and Mali comes with Bambara, and Senegal with Mandinga and Pura,
And there's
and South Africa
confusion.
with Puru, and Congo with Lingara, and Ethiopia with Amharic. So we're not gonna have the continental free trade. We need some kind of one language that we can actually be able to present to each other, not to talk to other people, because most of those who are coming to negotiate with us, they may be speaking French and or English or Russian or Chinese, but we among ourselves, in order to understand each other, when to decide, we need our own language. So maybe French speaker can talk to Portuguese speaker in Mozambique, which is Swahili. I think you have already heard about it, which we are working on. So do you have any way you can help us to bring Swahili to Nigeria, especially in Nigerian government, because we want governments to actually adopt Swahili from primary school to secondary, so that the Swahili can go fast and can be used by people as fast as possible. Do you think it is possible?
Well, a common idea is where there is a will, there is a way. That is where there is a willingness. You can also, the mind of man can achieve what it can conceive. But to be pragmatic, the issue of a single language for Africa can only be aspirational. What I mean by that is, it is desirable for all Africa to speak one language. But we are not going to wait until all Africa speak one language before we start trading with each other. We must use what we have, but to set a goal of one language in the nearest future. Because language carries a part of the culture. So, and there are some people, somebody my age, it will be difficult to learn a new language. So my advice is, yes, it is desirable for us to have one language in Africa. It will help us a lot if we are able to do it. But while we are aspiring to do that, let us use the ones we have to carry on trade until we get to to one language for Africa, which may be Swahili, as you said, because it appears to be the most popular language that has been spoken, that is being suggested as an African common language.
Yes, in the past 2 years only, Swahili has grown. I start with South Sudan. Swahili adopted Swahili. South Sudan adopted Swahili in 2018. 2019, South Africa picked up. 2019, Botswana, Namibia picked up. 2019, Rwanda made Swahili official language. 2019, this year actually, Botswana just did like a few months ago. As you can see, it's growing. Madagascar is already did, and Mozambique. So why? I know you may say like we can do that little gradually, but I think this is the time to take that speed and pick the language up, which I wish that Nigeria and Nigerians and Nigerian government, they are aware of that, because believe me on this, Wu Sayinka, Nigerian writer, he suggested Swahili in 1985.
Yes.
that Nigeria will pick Swahili and put it as a national language or common language. And Nigeria, they did not pick up the language. Guess who picked up the language the same year? Kenya take the language, the Swahili language. And now when you talk about Swahili, everyone say, oh, you're from Kenya, you know? So it is. Anytime you, somewhere here, when you say you speak Swahili, everyone say like, oh, you must be from Kenya. But actually, it should be the same case to Nigeria. It'd be like, oh, you must be from Nigeria if you speak Swahili. You know, so I think time is now. We can't just say, hey, you know, little later on we will, because if it's growing like that, why don't we just stick our legs in there and take it and just go gradually, as you say, but on ground, you know. I don't know if it makes sense to you.
Yeah, it makes sense. You mentioned the case of Wole Soyinka, Professor Wole Soyinka. Wole Soyinka has never been in government. Wole Soyinka is just a private individual making a suggestion. So, in order to make progress on the issue of this common language, I think it should be approached through the African Union. If we approach it through the African Union, maybe we can make a headway. But let us not deceive ourselves. It is not a goal that can be achieved maybe in 5 or 10 years. It should be a minimum 30 to 40 year objective.
Sort of gradually.
But I agree with you that we need to take the first step. And agree that this is what we are going to do.
Well, certainly for us old timers, trying to learn a new language could be very challenging. But if we're talking about uniting Africans and coming into our own, getting back to our native tongue, and Swahili is certainly a catalyst that could help do this, but it would have to start in the educational system each country to be able to bring this into full sight. And that starts at the young age, maybe through high school, that is being taught, and it becomes the norm after a while. But certainly this is the right track that we're headed towards, for sure.
And yes, you agree with me that you need a lot of resources to do that. A lot of resources need to be deployed to get the language and to teach it in all schools. So, and you see, most African countries, they have huge problems right now, even balance of budget, balance of payment situations, that they are struggling for resources. So yes, we need to have it, but I cannot see it happening before the next 20-25 years.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Say. Thank you for taking your time with us. We will I will definitely, to me personally, keep in touch with you to see the idea. I'm true believer in Africa, in uniting Africa. And I also am convinced that can make change on our lifetime. So yeah, I will keep in touch with you, me personally, so we can discuss about this a little further about concerning the African official language. Okay. But also our time is moving. We already passed 3 minutes, which I think is time for you to go to sleep anyways. We appreciate for you to come in. I hope our audience have here, and those who will be listening also, they will understand what's going on with Nigeria and the Sars and the people protesting, and how possibly should be addressed in order to bring good fruits to the people and to the country in general. And also the continental free trade, which is very, very crucial and important to anyone who lives in Africa, and anyone who is in Africa, live outside of Africa. We should be able to celebrate this African continental free trade, because it's very, very important when it comes to trade and our natural resources and who we are as well. So I do appreciate for all those insights you have put in. I will definitely come back to you sometimes in the future. We don't know when, but we will. And when we come back to Nigeria, we may be meet in Nigeria as
Yeah,
well.
we had to meet there.
Coming.
We had to go and meet in Abuja.
Yeah, we are coming. We are
That
coming
would be
with
nice.
actually.
Well, brother, Idowu, tell
You'll be
the
welcome in
audience.
Abuja.
Tell the audience how they can get in touch with you. Do you have a website or any type of communication link that people can reach out to you for our viewers and listeners?
Oh yes, we have a my company has a website. I don't know how we can write it now. It's www.pochepem.com.
Let me see if I can type that in message. Where? Chat. You say is
www.poche
hold on, POCH
E
E
PEM
BEM.
P Papa.
Oh, okay.
PEM.
PEM.
That's Papa, Oscar, Charlie, Hotel, Echo, Papa, Echo.
Okay.
Michael.
PM what? .com?
.com, yes. www.pochepem.com.
Okay.
Or my email address, bid774@gmail.com.
Okay, so I think the message everyone saw it.
Yeah.
If it's not right, you go to see if it's there. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then info@pochepem.com. I will get it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that is good. Thank you for coming in. We will keep in touch. And also, if there's anything we can help to the people in Nigeria who are suffering with whatever took place, and keeping in prayer those who lost their loved one as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So that being said, we finish the panel discussion for today. We'll see you guys, each one of you, on Saturday at the same time. That time I will be in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
That's what's up. That's what's up, bro.
Yes. So that's why you see I'm not in my studio today, because I already put in the box everything. So yeah, I'm in the car today, not in the studio.
Okay, great.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know one thing in Yoruba, Tunde.
Okay.
Tunde is coming back.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how I will say. Come back again.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem, brother. Yeah, you're more than welcome to come and share your experience. I know you have a lot of wisdom to share with our brothers and sisters out there in the Pan-African world. And we definitely look forward to having you back in the very near future. One love, my brother.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Idowu.
Anybody else have any final words for Mr. Idowu before we leave? Anybody else like to weigh in?
Yes, Baba Idowu. This is Okbayemi. Thanks for sharing. Yes, so thank you very much for sharing your wisdom with us. I listened in and appreciate a lot of wisdom. I agree with a lot of the things that you said, if not all. But just sending a shout out to the big brother on the other side, Brother Bayo Idowu.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Mr. Idowu, thank you. Thank you so much for coming in again. Nice to hear from you, man. I will contact you also too, yes?
All right.
Yeah.
We have your contact. We will stay in touch.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Finally can talk. Appreciate you. Like I will definitely get in contact with you, because I'm all about business. So there's a lot of things I wanted to share with you, and we can do together. So
Okay.
Appreciate it a lot. Thank you. Sorry, guys. I finally can talk.
No, you gotta jump on in there. That's all right. That's all right, sister. We still love you.
Oh, I love you guys. Manny, have a safe travel.
Yeah, Imani, you be safe out there with your travels, brother. Everybody have a great evening and peace and blessings. And we'll see you next Saturday on the New African Network at 6 p.m. One love.
One love.
Bye.
Bye now.
One love.
Bye everyone. Take care now. Bye.
Non,